Welcome back to Devil's Diary TV. Let the story begin. Welcome to a night that started like any other, under the starlit sky, with laughter echoing in the woods. Picture this: the smell of roasting marshmallows, the comforting crackle of a campfire, and the camaraderie of close friends. We were a group of adventurers out in the wilderness, far removed from the hustle and bustle of city life. Our only companions were the whispering trees and the melodies of nocturnal creatures. Among us was Jade, a storyteller extraordinaire, who had a knack for spinning tales that could make your heart race, your spine tingle, and your mind whirl. That night, however, she was not the only one with a tale to tell. For we had a song, a seemingly harmless TikTok campfire song, which we thought was nothing more than a catchy tune to sing around the fire. Little did we know that this innocent melody would soon become the eerie soundtrack of our night. As the fire danced and the stars twinkled overhead, we began to sing. Our voices, filled with joy and anticipation, harmonized with the soft rustling of the leaves and the gentle lapping of the nearby creek. We sang of friendship, of nature, of adventures yet to be had. It was a song of innocence, a song of unity, a song that was about to become a chilling echo in the darkness. The song, initially a source of laughter and shared memories, soon took a sinister turn. But in those initial moments, we were blissfully unaware of the foreboding undercurrent that was brewing. We had no notion that our innocent song could become a catalyst for a series of events that would forever change our lives. As we sang, our voices carried far into the night, reaching the unseen corners of the forest. Unbeknownst to us, our song was not just an innocent melody, but a summons, a call to the unknown. But as the song echoed through the trees, we had no idea of the terror that was about to unfold. Subscribe now for more stories from Devil's Diaries TV. As the song continued, the world around us began to change. The once comforting crackle of the campfire morphed into something far more ominous. The fire danced with an erratic rhythm, casting long, monstrous shadows that seemed to come alive in the darkness. The wind, which had been a gentle whisper, picked up and began to howl through the trees, carrying with it an eerie melody that echoed our song. The world around us seemed to fall into a strange hush, as though holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The only sounds were the flickering flames, the rustling leaves, and our own breathing, each one sounding louder and more pronounced in the unsettling silence. And then we heard it, a whisper in the wind, so faint it could have been our imagination. It was a soft, hissing sound, like a snake slithering through the grass. We froze, our eyes darting around, scanning the darkness for any sign of movement. But there was nothing, just the endless, impenetrable darkness. Next came the footsteps, distant but unmistakable. The crunching of leaves, the snapping of twigs. It was as if someone or something was out there watching us. We tried to shrug it off, to laugh it off. After all, we were in the middle of the woods. It could have been a deer, or a squirrel, or any number of woodland creatures. But deep down, we knew. We knew that this was no ordinary camping trip, that this was no ordinary song, that we had somehow stumbled upon something dark, something sinister. We could feel it in the air, a palpable tension that gripped us and wouldn't let go. Yet we chose to ignore the warning signs. We continued to sing, to laugh, to pretend that everything was fine. We thought that if we ignored it, it would go away. But we couldn't have been more wrong. We laughed it off, not realizing that these were the first signs of a nightmare come to life. And then, without warning, Alex was gone. One moment we were all laughing, singing around the fire, his voice the loudest among us. The next, there was a void where he had been sitting, his laughter abruptly cut off. His jacket lay crumpled on his chair, his drink untouched. An eerie silence descended on our group, a chilling hush that seemed to echo with his absence. Every instinct screamed at us that this was wrong, that it was more than just a prank. We called out to him, our voices shattering the quiet, but there was no response, just the whispering wind and the distant hoot of an owl. We shone our flashlights into the surrounding darkness, sweeping the beams over the trees and underbrush, but found no trace of him. It was as if the earth had swallowed him whole. Panic started to creep in, prickling at the back of our necks, making our hearts pound in our chests. We were in the middle of nowhere, miles away from the nearest town. If something had happened to Alex, if he was hurt or lost, we were on our own. We split into pairs, spreading out to cover more ground. Our calls for Alex echoed through the woods, bouncing off the trees, swallowed by the night. We searched for what felt like hours, our flashlights casting long, eerie shadows that danced and flickered, playing tricks on our already frazzled nerves. But as the night stretched on, our hope started to dwindle. The forest remained eerily silent, the only sounds the crackling fire and our own heavy breathing. The once comforting glow of the campfire now seemed sinister, casting long, grotesque shadows that twisted and warped in the flickering light. Finally, we regrouped at the campfire, our hearts heavy with dread. The cheerful gathering we'd enjoyed just hours before had now turned into a desperate search for our missing friend. The night had gone from a joyful sing-along to a chilling mystery, our laughter replaced by a haunting silence. The night had gone from a cheerful gathering to a desperate search for our friend. In the midst of our panic, we found a message that sent a chill down our spines. The note was hastily scrawled as if in a hurry or maybe in fear. It was Alex's handwriting. He was here, he was real, and he was in danger. As we read the words, our hearts pounded in our chests, our breaths coming in short, sharp gasps. The note was cryptic, but the meaning was clear. The song, it read, it called something. I'm sorry. That was it. No explanation, no instruction, no reassurance. Just a chilling admission of a mistake made and a danger unleashed. The realization hit us like a cold wave. The song, that innocent, catchy TikTok tune we'd sung around the campfire, it wasn't just a song. It was a summoning chant, a call to something dark and otherworldly. We'd sung it in ignorance, in jest, not knowing the power it held or the entity it beckoned. Our laughter from earlier seemed a distant memory, replaced by a gnawing fear. We'd thought it was all fun and games, that the whispers in the wind and the flickering flames were just our imagination playing tricks on us. But with Alex's disappearance and his chilling note, we could no longer deny the truth. We were not alone in these woods. We'd invited something in, something that lurked in the shadows, something that had taken Alex. And we, in our blissful ignorance, had been singing its invitation. The gravity of our situation was overwhelming. With every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, we felt the presence of the entity we'd unwittingly summoned. The TikTok song was no longer a harmless tune, but a summoning chant we'd sung in ignorance. We were in its territory now, dancing to its tune, and the night was far from over. With the darkness closing in, we were determined to find Alex and confront whatever we'd summoned. The once innocent TikTok song had morphed into a chilling anthem of fear, echoing through the trees and permeating the night air with its haunting melody. Our laughter and camaraderie had been replaced by a palpable sense of dread. The campfire, once a source of warmth and comfort, now flickered ominously, casting long, sinister shadows that seemed to dance and prance in the darkness, as if mocking our fear. We huddled together, our eyes darting around nervously, scanning the inky blackness of the forest for any sign of movement. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of twigs sent our hearts pounding against our chests. In the embers of the fire, we began to notice strange symbols appearing and disappearing. They seemed to be written in a language unknown to us, yet they radiated an aura of malevolent intent. We couldn't decipher them, but their appearance confirmed our worst fears. We had unwittingly invited something supernatural into our midst. As we grappled with the reality of our situation, the whispers returned, growing louder, more insistent. They seemed to be all around us, a cacophony of eerie voices carried on the wind, their words indiscernible, but their tone unmistakably ominous. Our fear was escalating, but so was our resolve. We couldn't just stand by while our friend was in danger. We had to fight back. We called out into the darkness, our voices shaking but strong. We demanded answers, begged for Alex's safe return, and challenged the entity to reveal itself. We were met with silence, and then a chilling laughter that echoed through the forest, sending goosebumps prickling across our skin. The night was long, and the horrors were many, but we stood our ground, armed with nothing but our courage and determination. We'd started the night with a song, and now we were in a fight for our friend's life. As the sun began to rise, we were left with more questions than answers. The fire had long since died out, leaving only the cold ashes of our once joyful gathering. The night had taken a turn that none of us could have anticipated. Our innocent camping trip had become a chilling encounter with the unknown. The TikTok campfire song, once a symbol of our carefree youth, had become a haunting melody that echoed through the silent woods. It was a chilling testament to the power of words, the danger of inviting forces beyond our comprehension into our lives. We'd laughed and sung, unaware of the darkness we'd unwittingly summoned. It was a stark reminder that some things, once invoked, cannot be undone. Our laughter had turned into screams, our camaraderie into fear. The campfire, once a source of warmth and light, had become a beacon for something sinister. Alex's disappearance remained a mystery. All our search efforts, all our desperate calls into the darkness had yielded nothing. He'd vanished as suddenly as he'd appeared, leaving behind a void that no amount of reasoning could fill. His absence was a chilling reminder of the night's events, a haunting echo of our ill-fated song. The strange whispers in the wind, the ominous symbols in the embers, the dancing shadows. They were all fragments of a puzzle we couldn't solve. They were pieces of a chilling narrative that we'd unwittingly become a part of. As we packed our belongings, the once familiar surroundings seemed alien. The trees stood like silent sentinels, witnesses to our chilling encounter. The wind howled through the branches, carrying with it the haunting melody of our TikTok song. The woods were no longer a place of tranquility, but a reminder of the unknown that lurked within. In the end, we left with heavy hearts and a chilling tale. A tale of an innocent song, a mysterious disappearance, and a haunting memory that would forever be etched in our minds. A tale that served as a grim reminder of the thin line between the natural and the supernatural, the known and the unknown. Remember, not all songs are meant to be sung around the campfire. Some are best left alone, for they might just invite something that you're not ready to face. For more horror stories from the Devil's Diary TV, click here to watch now. Like, comment, and subscribe before it's too late for you too.